Mick Guttridge, son of Rose Knight and George Guttridge, was born on March 27, 1933. He had a twin sister Jean and brothers Jeff and Robin. When Mick was 6 and the Second World War started, sadly George was killed at Dunkirk. His mum then remarried and had 2 more children, Sally and Tony. When Mick and Jean's dad died, they were immediately shipped off as evacuees to a village near Northampton. They clung to each other, giving what little support they could to try and get through the days. On leaving school, Mick started working for Ward's Construction. He was apprenticed as a builder, but he soon found that he had a flair for plumbing. Mick's long career, however, was put on hold very early on, when he was 18 and he had to go off to do his national service, like all men did in those days. Mick joined the REME and enjoyed his time very much with them. It was during these 2 years in the army that he married. Irene Medhurst lived in Luton Road and Mick was passing when he met her at the bottom of the steps.
So how old were you when you met Grandad?
18, with somebody I think I was with, my sister Jean probably. I just started speaking to her and I would always remember a bottle of Guinness or a bottle of stout for his mum in his pocket.
They married in Luton Church in 1954 and together had 2 children, Sharon and Kevin.
Two we never enough money to buy him a suit. He didn't bother about buying a suit anyway. He never bothered about clothes, has he, Dad? No. He never bothered about clothes. That dress, I had that dress made. Miss Atwater on the Luton Road, she made that for me. And there was 8 yards around the bottom of my... I still got it upstairs. My old bouquet, it wasn't a proper bouquet. It was Uncle Tom. And he said to Dad, don't worry about the flower. He said, I'll do all them. He's going to get me bouquet and everything, you know. He didn't turn up, did he? And there was... Robin had to run round and get these flowers and the greenery, and Mum got a big piece of pink ribbon and tied it up, and that was my bouquet, my wedding bouquet.
Mick then moved to the BP refinery at Grain. This is a job he did for nearly 25 years. Mick was a good father, not strict, and according to Sharon and Kevin, he was a brilliant dad.
Yeah, generally we had quite a good relationship because we had very similar senses of humour, as it were. You know, generally quite a good relationship, and particularly to the end as I was helping more, I got to spend more time on my own with him, which was lovely because they were quite sort of precious moments.
Sharon Guttridge, Mick's daughter, married in July 1987 to Nigel Cresswell.
Yeah, my dad was really pleased when your dad proposed to me. He actually asked him in advance, so he took him out to the pub and asked for my hand in marriage. When he wanted to ask me to get married, so when we were going to get engaged, he actually asked him before he asked me.
Did Grandad want you to get married?
Yeah, because he liked Dad.
One of Mick's favourite pastimes was fishing, and this was a hobby he would carry on for many years. Despite this close association with water, it was a while before Mick learnt to swim. He would take his children swimming at the BP club in Hoo, and was still learning himself.
And it was something that he could pass on because he helped teach the grandchildren to swim, because they're like my brother was not a very strong swimmer, and their mum didn't swim, so the other grandchildren, you know, he was really pleased because he used to be able to teach them how to swim.
He was always generous with his children and his grandchildren and had many friends, young and old. He had loads of friends, and that was just something that I'd love to have when I'm at his age, because as you get older, I know you don't really keep a lot of friends, but he genuinely had so many friends, and he had such a big family as well, and I know that he cared about everybody. In time, Sharon and Kevin gave Mick his 5 grandchildren: Sarah, Victoria, Chloe, Tamsin and Sean. Mick always said at every opportunity how proud he was of his children and his grandchildren and how much he loved them. He was known to be slow in coming forward with cash. However, Mick was in fact very generous with his children and his grandchildren, but it was widely believed that the £20 note in his wallet is the same one he had kept for years, managing to never spend it. There isn't anything bad I could say about my granddad. He was just so honestly lovely, and he always thought about everyone else apart from himself. One of my best memories of my granddad was when we were walking in the park, and it was just something so simple, because I could just talk to him and we just spoke about some really kind of random things, but I just felt really nice because I've never really felt connected to my granddad on a really emotional level, but it was really nice to just have a chat with him, and we were just walking in the park and my mum was there as well, and it was just so nice for him to get out because he didn't really get out a lot, And some of the things he said were really funny because he used to come past the table when I was eating and he used to say, "Are you still eating?" Mick always loved a good dance and his favourite singer was Ray Conniff.
I know a good memory of my dad that is, I always laugh when I think about it, was he used to like putting Ray Conniff on and standing in the middle of the front room and then acting as if he was conducting the orchestra. So there'd be this loud music playing from the radiogram, like "Once on a high and windy hill," and there'd be Grandad in the middle of the floor kind of waving his arms about, you know. And it was quite good when you didn't know you were watching, you could like sneak in round the door and watch him.
And another memory I loved was when I watched him dance at my mum's friend's 50th birthday, and because I was the videographer at the party, I filmed a lot of people dancing, and he loved dancing basically. He used to do this thing where he used to go like this and go like this, like typical Grandad dancing, and I love him so much. I just think it's so funny thinking about it now, and I just really appreciate the fact that he was like that, because he didn't have any he didn't feel embarrassed or anything like that. It was literal typical Grandad dancing even before he was a Grandad, and he was just so lovely, and he always cared about his family, and he always thought about his grandchildren before anyone else and his children, and he just was such a caring man.
Yeah, but he absolutely adored families. You know, his grandchildren were like the light of his life, really.
My Grandad will always be a part of my life even though he is no longer with me. I appreciate everything he did for me, and I know he has had a great influence on me and everyone in his circle. I love my Grandad very much, and I'll always remember him as a happy, jolly man in my family. He's honestly one of the most caring men that I know, and I really appreciate him for that, because he was such a good role model, and I couldn't think of anybody else to do this video about, to be honest.